Test, test, test. Okay, everybody, please stand by. We'll be going live in a few minutes. We're live at the Ashland High School at the polls. You can come on and tune in. Go ahead and share this link with your friends and family, anyone that might be interested in watching the results here. We probably won't have the results until a little after 8 o'clock tonight, but stand by. We have John Featherston and Peter Chisholm going to come on shortly.
Officers. Good evening. Election night coverage of the Ashland town election, live on Facebook Live and YouTube. My friend Peter Chisholm, I'm John Featherston. We're here at the Ashland High School Gymnasium. Voting's going to wrap up here in about 25 minutes. It's been a robust day here in the town of Ashland, where we have 3 candidates running for the Board of Selectmen, 2 candidates running for school committee, and 3 candidates running for Board of Health in contested races. Peter, your thoughts on the election cycle this year?
Well, I hope we get a better turnout than usual. The last few years, town elections just don't seem to be attracting the number of people anymore. It's so difficult because there's no real means now for people to get their news in Ashland. I mean, with the Framingham Source gone, the Metro West News is always,
Hasn't been a
gets what
paper
they
for
can.
a long time.
Yeah,
Right.
and so it's very difficult, and people, of course, don't read newspapers anymore. It's a shame that they have no idea what's going on in the world around them.
But you bring up an interesting point, though. With technology so much more advanced now, the information flows so much more poorly now, and people don't know what goes on in their local elections. And I can't stand it because, all politics is local. You need to know what's going on in your town elections. Hey, but before we talk about we've got an exciting story here. We're going to go talk to Ann Hickey. Ann is the longest working poll worker in the town of Ashland. Ann, come on over. You're a legend in the town of Ashland. So you've worked every continual election since 2004, is that right?
Correct.
So Ann, you're on Facebook Live and on YouTube right now. So tell everybody a little bit why you continue to do these elections for, so what is that? Let me do my math real quick. 19 years. You haven't missed an election in 19 years as a poll worker.
No, and prior to coming to Ashland, I worked in Sherborne. I've always worked the polls since I retired.
Really good for you.
Yep.
What do you like about the day?
About the day, well, certainly not getting up early, but but it's the camaraderie and meeting all the people in the town. It's good.
So
It's-
you've been sitting here by the door all day, so you have a better read on how busy you've been all day.
Well,
how would
actually-
you call turnout?
I think this afternoon it was very good.
Okay.
This morning I think it was a little slow. I was working at another station, so I was checking people in, but it was a good flow this afternoon. Very good.
With early voting going on nowadays and mail-in voting, has it really kind of taken the pomp and circumstance out of Election Day, or you still think it's? I only vote on Election Day. I mean, I refuse to early vote and I refuse to vote by mail. So that's just me. But
I think it has taken some of the work off, especially for the presidential. It certainly has changed that. I'm not sure I agree with everything that's all of the mail-in ballots and all that. I have a problem with it. So, but I think Ashland itself runs a very tight ship,
yes,
and they
we're
do
very lucky to have
yes.
Cindy Livingstone.
yes, and they do an excellent job over the years. It's like clockwork. Everything goes pretty well.
But I think people need to understand that it's a long day for the poll workers. You're here very early into the night, and you're here all day long. And other than maybe a bathroom break and a lunch break, you're working all day long. And
Yes.
What are they, 14, 15-hour days, right?
They are.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can come in on a different shift.
Okay.
You don't have to work the whole day, but a lot of people do because they just like to do that. But
Well, we wish you continued health and happiness,
Well,
and we
thank
hope
you.
you're here for another 19
I hope
years
so.
working
No,
at
not
the polls.
19, another one.
So you'll make the presidential
Let's hope.
election. Yeah, you'll make the presidential one. So thank you for everything that you do. It's a
Thank you.
pleasure.
It's a pleasure to work with you too.
Thank
Now,
you.
I heard that you've never voted for a loser. You've always voted for the winners. So you'd be a good person to talk to when we're coming to vote. Know who's going to win.
There you go.
Let's get her to run for office. Let's get her to run for office.
I'll never make it.
Keep up the good work.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so like I said, we're here on Facebook Live and on YouTube. It's the election night coverage for the Ashland Town election. So, Peter, we had three good candidates for the Board of Selectmen running for one seat. Replacing, Steve Mitchell, who served on the board for many, many, many years. A good man in Steve Mitchell. Your thoughts on the three candidates in the race for a Board of Selectmen?
Well, I think they were all good candidates. They, I saw the debate, and they, presented their views, and they had their signs up and knocked on some doors. And it's going to be interesting. I think you've got, each candidate carries their own strengths. I think, like Claudia Bennett, having been very active in the school committee before and working for the school department. The other two folks have, been out there. So I think I'm looking forward to seeing the results, and also in the school race too, where Laurie Tosti's running for re-election, and her opponent Adam had sent out a note, a flyer I saw, but he was the only candidate with children in the Ashland Public Schools, which is take a different approach to things, and I don't know if that necessarily makes them a better candidate or not, but
Well,
it's
you
just
and I
one
have been
of the
doing this
people
for a
you
long time,
Yeah.
and there have been years when there haven't been a lot of good
Not
candidates,
candidates, yeah.
or even candidates.
Yeah, I know it's very
It was
tough
it was
sometimes.
invigorating to me this year to see, contested races that we've got really good candidates, and even for the Board of Health this year, we've got good candidates that are running. I think it's a great thing for us. I think it's great for the town of Ashland as well. Let's bring in the brain trust of WACA TV. Barbara, come on over. Come on. Come on over. What do you not now all of a sudden she's shy. All of a sudden she's shy. Barbara.
I am shy.
Election night coverage on your station, WACA, which is the gem of Ashland. Tell the viewers why you support election coverage the way you have over the years and why it's important.
We at WACA support election coverage because it's important to show the viewers and the townspeople what's going on in town and to be transparent, not to be hiding anything. So we feel that it is our duty to share that information with the community.
Well, Peter and I were talking earlier about, with the demise of local news and, Metro West Daily News, the Framingham Source, there is no real news coverage in Ashland anymore. And it's wrong. It's wrong.
Anywhere, really.
Yeah, anywhere. But, you lose transparency. Like, when I sat on the Board of Selectmen, had the honor of sitting on the Board of Selectmen here in Ashland, I knew what I said in that meeting was going to be in the paper tomorrow morning. And it was a good checks and balances. It was good. There were many times I would pick up the phone and go, I didn't say that, and you need to correct that, and they would correct it. But people knew what the topics were in front of the Board of Selectmen. And now I think it's even though access is better with Zoom, if you don't know that there is a meeting or you don't know what the agenda on the meeting, it doesn't do any good to have the easy access via Zoom because you don't know that the meeting's even happening.
As sad as that is, it makes the need for community media and here in Ashland, WACA, all that much more important because we are the local news.
You are the local, yep.
And without what we share with the community, just like what you said, people wouldn't know. And I know that people appreciate that because I've seen like responses on Facebook and YouTube and in comments. So people do appreciate that, but it does make community media, not just here in Ashland, but it makes community media everywhere.
Well, let me just look into the camera, and I'm speaking to you, Senator Markey. I'm speaking to you, Senator Warren. Local cable access is essential, and I don't want to hear any talk about ever cutting local, cable access because it's essential to every community, not just Ashland, all the communities throughout Massachusetts. So we need our elected officials support local media, but more importantly, we need people watching this program to support local media as well, too.
And yet it's happening.
It is.
It's happening at a rapid rate, and it started happening during the pandemic, and it's continuing.
Just so people can kind of understand a little bit how it is funded in communities, it's funded by your local cable companies, and as people have cut the cord, as they've said, with Verizon, Xfinity, some community Spectrum throughout, Massachusetts. Talk a little bit about how, you get that money and you're seeing, decrease because people aren't using cable as much.
So, through the local franchising with both Verizon and Comcast that is signed by the Select Board, we receive 5% of the gross revenues that come in from people that subscribe to both of those services. However, people are cutting the cord, unfortunately, and therefore, yes, we still get 5%, but 5% of less is less.
Of a shrinking pie, yeah.
So-
Shrinkage, yeah.
Yeah.
Shrinking, yeah,
And I think the companies themselves are partially responsible. I mean, I know that the streaming is taken over and other things, but the service is so poor sometimes, the customer service, when you have an issue and you call the company. Like I spent an hour on the phone Sunday night with Verizon just to update my credit card information so they could bill me. And it drives me crazy. I have very little patience. And I told the guy, you get 2 minutes right there from now to get it done or I'm gone.
I had to call Xfinity a couple of weeks ago, and I had a very nice young lady on the phone, and she was very pleasant. And I finally just said to her, "Can you please stop reading the 3x5 card you're reading off of and just talk to me? Just listen to what I'm saying and talk to me." And you're right; it's the service,
Yeah,
and
it
that's what.
To get back to your point about cutting the cord and the support of community media, along with several of my colleagues, serve on the National Board for Community Media.
do a lot of good work.
And one of the major things that we're working on is public policy, and it's working with thank you to our Senator Markey, who sponsored the Protecting Community Television Act, but it's becoming very popular around the country, and we're looking for sponsors in both the Senate and the House to sign on to that bill and to for the bill to get passed, because it will protect community media for the future.
Yeah. So I mean, you feel good about it? I mean, what's the?
I feel good about it, but it's got a long way to go.
Got a long way
Yeah.
to go. Okay.
Yeah.
So Senator Markey, Senator Warren, you heard what Barbara Chisholm said. We need local media access, and it's very, very important. So we're here in the gym. It's winding down. It's about just before 7:45 on Tuesday night, election night. Unfortunately, there's not a line out the door. It seems to be a little bit quiet here. I mean, the response was that it was a good turnout day today, but I'm actually kind of disappointed to see that, that people aren't running in the door. What do you think?
I'm going to look for the town clerk, and I'll
All
be
right.
right back.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. So there's no line out the
No,
door.
I know. You know, it's funny coming in here though. And I try to follow local events when I can. I call this almost like diving in the tank. It seems like so many people get elected, and then you don't hear about them again until the next election. They, it's almost like it's very controlled. You never read about debates, public debates at the school committee level or the selectmen's level. It's worked out in advance, and I miss that kind of thing. At least, a lot of, in the legislature and U.S. Congress, they have the debates, the floor debates, and I kind of miss that here. It's,
I miss it too.
yeah, they it's like they work the little deals and then they go with it. And, I'm not saying it's bad for the people or good for the people. It's just a fact, the way they do it now. And, but that's part of life, I suppose. Things change.
If you guys don't know, this man does a lot of work in higher education. And when's graduation coming up?
This Sunday.
This Sunday, and you've got a VIP coming to
Yeah, we,
commencement.
Congressman Ayanna Presley's coming. Congresswoman Ayanna Presley's coming. Since I handle the advanced stuff like that for the university, I was dealing with our advanced person today on some of the details. And we also, this weekend, the graduate students will be graduating on Friday night and Saturday. We've got 2 of the graduate schools graduating on Friday night and 3 of them graduating on Saturday morning. And then the undergrads graduate, Saturday morning, and the undergraduates graduate Sunday morning in Worcester. The graduates will graduate on campus at our Performing Arts Center.
So we're talking about Framingham State. So is DCU become the new home of graduation?
For undergraduates, because the tent we used to use was getting too crowded.
Okay.
And we were starting to have to restrict the number of tickets graduates could get. So this way, by having it in Worcester, it's open. Everyone can bring as many relatives as they like.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people like to bring their grandparents or godparents, etc., friends. So this is much better. And I've in fact asked some folks, a few folks that I've come across who are seniors, would you like to have your picture taken with Congresswoman Presley?
Yeah.
So send me an email. I'll make sure it's done, Sunday morning before the event.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'm sure, a couple already responded,
Oh,
that
good.
they'll be there.
Good.
Yeah.
And she's being agreeable to it?
Oh yeah, her staff. Yeah, her advanced guy's pretty good. He contacted me today after I sent them some stuff, and they had a couple questions, and we're all set to go. I've been doing advanced so many years.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a long time, yeah.
So.
Hey, we always need somebody to blame, and we got somebody right here. Cindy Livingstone, the town clerk of Ashland. This is what, been a long day, right? Huh?
It started at 3:15 this morning.
3:15 this
Yeah, I get up at 3:15.
3:15
but yeah,
this
my
morning.
day started at 5:30.
And then, so it's at least 17, 18-hour day for you and
Yes.
everything like that. We talked a little bit about with Ann Hickey, the longest poll worker in Ashland. We talked about early voting and mail-in voting. Let's talk about a little bit about how early voting and mail-in voting worked this year in Ashland.
Okay, well, we did offer both for the local town election, which we had the option to opt out of mail or
okay.
opt into in person, which we chose to keep both. I just wanted to give everybody a chance to get out and vote because we do have contested races, which is great to see.
Yes,
also.
it's wonderful to
Yep.
see. Yeah. So early voting it's your choice every year if
Just
we
for
do
local elections.
if we just do for
yes.
local. Okay.
Yep, and I can choose the hours I want.
Okay.
So we did 2 days, Saturday and a full day Wednesday up until 7 p.m. to give people that option.
So fast forwarding here, like when we have the primaries in like a year and a half.
The state mandates
The
that.
state mandates that.
Yeah.
So okay. So
I wish
that's-
it was a year and a half. It's not.
It's not. No. No.
we
it's-
have March.
yeah, March, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming up fast.
Yeah,
It's
really
coming up
fast.
fast. It always sounds farther away than
Yeah.
it really is. So, I mean, your thoughts today on election day? I'm kind of bummed that we don't have a line out the door.
We had a little bit earlier, but I mean, we had about almost 1,200 people vote today between
1,200. Okay.
Yeah, between early voting and today. My goal was actually 1,000
Okay.
because last year we did 495.
So what
for
would
the
that
local.
turnout be?
It's about 10% right now.
About 10%.
Yeah, 10%. Yeah, it is 10.
10% of the registered voters voting in a local town election. I mean, I'm very sensitive because I think all politics is local. You've got to, you've got a great crew here. They worked hard. You got to be commendable, but you've got to be a little frustrated that 10% want to decide, how
It
things
does
are.
frustrate me. I did a lot this year to try to get that word out. I sent out postcards. We did a lot of social media.
You sure did. Yeah.
I can only do what I can do.
Right,
but
yeah.
I can't do anything without. I just want to give
No,
props to all these people here working because they're awesome, and I couldn't do it without them.
it's a long day. What I mean,
It
on,
is.
on average for them, it's what, about a 15-hour day?
Some of them are from 6 in the morning till 9 at night. So yeah, 15.
Yeah, 15-hour day and maybe a bathroom break and a quick lunch.
yeah,
and then,
which we do provide. We're not
right,
that
right,
new.
right. But still, it's a long day. It's not like they're making a lot of money, so it's
Yeah.
it's a lot of dedication and
It
stuff
is.
like that.
It
so
is. So I'd like to see more people come out and.
Peter and I have been talked about this for years. I mean, if you don't vote, you can't complain. But tomorrow morning you're going to go on social media and people are going to be complaining about something,
Yeah.
and they probably didn't vote,
Yeah.
which is frustrating.
It is very frustrating.
It's very, very frustrating.
It
Well,
is.
thank you for doing all this.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for allowing us to be here live in the
Not
gymnasium.
a problem. I
We'll
hope it
be
doesn't get too loud in 10 minutes when we start breaking down.
so we're going to look forward to election results probably soon, right?
You should have. They'll start rolling about 8:15 at the
Okay.
latest. You'll have at least one race.
All right, you heard it right here from the boss. About
All right.
8:15, we'll have live election. Thank you. We'll have live election results here in Ashland. Here we go. We've got a couple people coming in at the door. 10%, Peter.
Yeah,
Come on.
it's a disgrace. And I think the 90% that didn't vote, they just shut their mouths and not complain about things. I get tired of people that complain and they don't participate. And they had plenty of chance to vote. Absentee ballots, voting early, voting today, and there's no excuse for it.
I couldn't agree with you more. I personally have been very vocal. I do not like early voting. I do not like mail-in voting. But we're offering absentee, early voting, voting by mail, and election day, and we're still only getting 10%?
Yeah, I know. And the early voting, of course, I go back to James Michael Curley, vote early, vote often. And that's the way you got to do it. But
That's how your side's
yeah,
won all
but
those
no,
elections
but,
over the years.
people
Okay,
today,
yeah.
I'm just telling you, it just reflects on the ignorance of the American public in general. They,
But it goes back to what we were talking about with Barbara and talking about the local newspapers. If you aren't talking about it, people just move on with their lives and they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but if they should be bright enough to see the signs in the street,
Well,
the
they-
lawn signs, say, gee, there must be an election coming, and it should behoove them to
Right.
find out.
Yeah.
Call the town hall, find out when's the election.
Right. Oh, I
And,
agree with you. I agree
Our
with you.
candidates, a lot of them put the stickers on the signs, vote today, so they'll know today's election day. Go and vote.
There's no excuse.
No.
There's no excuse for a
And
10%.
we had 70% in the presidential election year out here. So it is, that means that they ought to know enough to vote today too. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Hey, while we got a couple minutes to talk about the polls, but we'll keep it all election related. Did you see the poll that came out that former Governor Charlie Baker could possibly beat Elizabeth Warren if
Yeah, I saw
they
that.
ran for Senate?
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean,
It's
Mr.
somewhat-
Baker's a friend of mine, and
Yeah.
I would think that his job at the NCAA is better than being a senator. But I mean,
yeah.
what are your thoughts?
I know, I'm sure. That was something nothing to do. Let's do a poll. And he
Right.
ran very well. Obviously, he was very popular as governor.
Right.
So I'm not totally surprised because Elizabeth Warren he's taken on a lot of causes that a lot of people disagree with, but he's making $1 million a year now.
More than that, my friend.
Yeah, and yesterday I know he ran he had a Zoom session with the Massachusetts State College University Athletic Conference,
Right.
and he had a good time talking to the athletic directors and and presidents from the nine state universities and the athletic directors and some members of the staff. In fact, one of the athletic directors reminded him that Framingham State University has a former football player who's in the pros now, playing for the Seattle Seahawks, and the governor, asked about him. I know he's interested in success of the athletes after college. I talked to him a lot about it when he was governor. Whenever he'd come out to Framingham, I'd always go over to his advanced person when he was leaving. So I got to talk to him for a minute, and I'd walk him to his car and say, we've got 40% of this team made the dean's list, 80% of this team made the dean's list, with this and that, and he always appreciated it.
Nice.
And I once remember him telling me that one of our football players worked with his son, and he remarked how our son told him that he was a very, very good worker and very bright, and it's I think it reflects in the university.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, the fellow who's in the pros, Josh, I can't pronounce his last name. It's an African name, but he spoke at the university about a month and a half ago to recruits, and he talked for about 10 minutes, and there were none of these ums and yos. He just spoke. Talk about himself, his career growing up, and
People should not
answer
take
questions.
Framingham State for granted because it's in our backyard. It's a
No.
great quality organization and
Yeah.
a great institution, and
so it's good times up there right now, getting ready for commencement. Plus, we had an inauguration for our new president, Dr. Nimi, a couple
Yeah,
weeks ago.
very nice lady.
Nancy Nimi. It was a very good event. The Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll came
Yeah.
out to swear in, and it was a great event. A lot of her colleagues.
my
were,
invitation was probably lost in the mail or
Right.
something, but but it
Yeah.
looked like it was a great
a lot of
ceremony.
her
Right.
colleagues came.
Right, yeah. It looked like a
from
great turnout,
various
yeah.
institutions she's worked
Yeah,
at.
yeah, and she's a very, very nice lady.
Yeah, she's
I mean,
doing very well.
your former president Javier was one of the nicest people I ever knew.
Yeah.
But I mean, so it's nice to see that you got a very nice, a
Yeah.
good person,
Yeah, she's
friendly. Seems to care about the curriculum
Oh
and
yeah,
the kids.
she's
and
working
stuff.
hard and increasing the number of students, recruiting students, because that's the biggest thing that a lot of colleges, public and privates, are facing, the decreasing number of 18-year-olds, and the number of 18-year-olds that are deciding not to go on to college, either taking a gap year or just going into the workforce or the military or
Mhm.
learning a trade or whatever. So that's something that's a big issue, she's working on. But she's done very well there. The faculty like her, the staff likes her, and I like her. I work with her a lot on issues. And,
If you like her, then
yeah,
that's good.
It's very good. And also, one little fact: our women's softball team is leaving tomorrow morning at 7, going down to Maryland playing the NCAA regionals.
Oh, really? I did
yeah.
not know that. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
they've made it the regionals now about 5 times in the last 7 years or 8 years.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a very, very good team.
Hey, it's about 5 minutes to 8 o'clock on the East Coast. You're watching live on YouTube and Facebook Live. I wanted to talk to you, Peter, a little bit about the new MBTA zoning regulations in town. But Peter has just been pulled across. But like I said, it's about 5 minutes before the close of the polls. We're going to be bringing you live election night coverage. Peter's going outside. I think he's going to be interviewing a couple people outside as well and grabbing them as they go. So just stay tuned. Like I said, the polls are going to close in about 5 minutes. We're anticipating we'll have results about 8:15 tonight. And we'll just keep plugging along here. Is Peter outside now?
He's making his way.
Okay. We're going to grab people. Peter's going to be interviewing people as they exit the polls. As you can see here, we're live in the Ashland High School gymnasium. It's going to get probably loud here in the next couple minutes as the polls close. We're anticipating about a 10% turnout tonight for people voting. I am appalled, and Peter and I were talking about how we're appalled by that. I really don't understand how in a town that you can drive through every day, and we've got a lot of exciting things going on in the town. We've got a new public safety building. We've got a new school being built. We've got construction projects on every major thoroughfare. A lot of things going on. Some things you might like to see that you like. Some things you might like, visually don't like to see. And only 10% of the people show up to vote. I really just don't understand it. You have to understand that everybody running for an elected position tonight is also a volunteer. Nobody does this because they're going to get rich. Nobody does this, they do this to serve their community. And there's no better way to thank a person running for an elected board than to come out and vote for them. You might not agree with them, but you do have to respect the fact that they want to step up and, do stuff in their community. And but it looks like they're starting to break down now. It is just. Oh, all right. Let's go to Peter Chisholm outside the polls.
Yeah, I had a couple of people who came into my door or I met on the street.
I'm really glad you did.
I
We had some
know,
good
I-
candidates today, too.
I almost forgot, and one of my neighbors came home and she says, well, you have 20 minutes, so I raced out.
Oh, that's really nice. We thank
Yeah.
you for doing that, ma'am.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, and hopefully your candidates will win tonight.
I hope so.
Yeah.
They all look pretty good
They do.
anyway.
They're some
Yeah.
good candidates. Very
Yes.
good candidates. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Peter, we weren't ready yet.
So we're back here in the gymnasium at the Ashland High School. It's 8 o'clock. You're watching this live on Facebook Live and on YouTube. It's Election Day, Ashland, Massachusetts, May 16, 2023. We're going to be recapping the results here in about 15 minutes, we think. We're thinking about 10% of the Ashland population came out today to vote. We had 3 candidates for the Select Board, Claudia Bennett, Preston Crow, and Pam Mims. One of those 3 people is going to be elected to the board, and 2 of those people, unfortunately, are not going to be elected to the board. David Rosenblum ran uncontested for assessor. Then we had a contested race in the school committee where Lori Tosti is the incumbent running against Sean Amadek. So we're going to find out who wins that. We had 2 candidates for Library of Trustees, Carolyn Bell and Elizabeth Rabinowitz. They're running unopposed. And in the Board of Health, we had 3 candidates, Barbara Simmons, Nikki Agu, and David Kinsman. And then for Planning Board, Anna Timinski ran unopposed as well, too. So we're going to be talking to candidates for the Board of Select Board, for School Committee, and for Board of Health as we come in, as they're coming in. Oh, they're here. They're starting the breakdown process now. Long day? Long day. Facilities is acknowledging that it's been a long day. We're starting to break down. I thought I saw a couple candidates come in. We'll get those results to you ASAP. But like I said, we got 3 contested races for Select Board, for School Committee, and for Board of Health. So we'll be bringing you those results very, very soon. Facilities is here cleaning up. It's been a long day for them as well. We've got the Ashland Police Department. He's been working here. Sergeant Tessier has been working all day long. It's been a long day for him. It's probably a minimum of 15-hour day for him. And he's back to work for first thing tomorrow morning as well. So a lot goes into a local town election that a lot of people just take for granted. You've got poll workers. You've got public safety officials. You've got facilities. You've got custodial staff. The schools have to make accommodations because they've taken up the gymnasium for the day. So a lot goes into a local election. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the candidates, none of these candidates are going to make a dollar from serving on these boards. A lot of them do financially pay for their campaigns out of their pocket. A lot goes into a campaign. If you're going to run a successful campaign, you have to dedicate a lot of time, effort, and money to it. And then only 10% of the population shows up. So we got to do a better job going forward in the next couple of years, Ashland. Going back outside, we have anybody more outside? Are people able to comment on Facebook Live or YouTube? I should run for president. Oh, okay. Okay, well, maybe that's in the works. No. I'm running for my life at this point. What's that? Mr. Pro. Oh, Mr. Preston Crow, candidate for the Select Board. Oh, Preston, Congratulations on running a nice campaign. What's your thoughts on today?
It was a great day. I saw a lot of people who showed up, whether they voted for me or not. I want to thank them for being engaged in the community. I just wish there were more people who showed up.
Yeah, I was just talking about it. I mean, so much goes into a local election, and you've been elected to, you were elected to the planning board how many times in Ashland?
3 times.
3 times. So, and you've run, what, 3 or 4 campaigns over there?
This is actually my 6th election, and I hope to break my spell of always coming in last place.
You have to explain that. What do you mean? You've always come in last place.
My campaign strategy for the planning board was, fortunately, for the planning board, I had the good fortune to run unopposed, which it's nice for the town to get more choices. Though as a candidate, it's always fun not to have to stress about it. Right. So I'm hoping today I will perform better. I've done more work and run a stronger campaign this time than I've ever done before. I went around and I knocked on a whole lot of doors, reminding people of the election and giving them my information. And so I think that got a lot of votes. Whether it was enough to win or not, she'll soon see.
Well, I have to tell a personal story. It was a Friday night, early, I don't know, probably just before 6 o'clock, and I see this guy when I'm cutting my front yard, and I see this guy walking up, and I'm like, is that Preston Crow? And you were out knocking on doors, and long after you left my house, you continued to work up and down my street, and I applaud the effort. I mean, because that's what local elections about. Because we talked a little bit about, not only is this a long day for the poll workers, not a long day for public safety, for the facilities people, but your campaign. How long did you campaign? From the time you decided you were going to commit to this till now. How many weeks has it been?
I think I've been out doing canvassing almost every day since April 19th.
Okay.
So almost a full month.
Okay, so every night for a full month. You've been going door to door.
Except for a few when it was particularly rainy.
Okay.
But yeah.
And you financially had to pay for a lot of your campaign materials and so forth, and so it's a bit of commitment.
Yeah. Well, actually, no.
Okay.
My campaign signs I paid for when I ran 3 years ago and lost.
Okay.
So I didn't have to pay for any campaign signs.
You had to pay for them back then, though. Yeah,
True,
right.
true, and that is,
Right.
They cost $4 or $5 a piece.
Yep.
So please don't destroy people's campaign signs, even with the election over.
Absolutely.
So we collect them and use them again.
Yep.
And my website, I had already paid for the domain and the hosting. So
But conservatively,
but
a couple $1,000s to run for a select board.
No, you can get 100 signs for probably $500 ish.
Okay.
And then using your own printer, you can print out some flyers and hand them out. And if you have a lot of contacts who can help spread the word that you're running, you could probably do a reasonable campaign for $500. If you want to do a mailing, that adds a lot.
That adds a lot.
But it may help a lot too.
Yep.
So
Well, that's true.
how much you spend doesn't necessarily translate into how well you do.
I don't know how well you do. So it is now about 8:06, and we're told that they should have results by about 8:15. What has anybody told you? What's going on or anything?
I don't know how many people have voted. Do you know the total numbers?
They're saying it's about a 10% turnout today. So
Okay,
probably
so
about
it's about 1,200.
1,200 people. Yeah, so about 1,200. Very disappointing.
Yeah, that's fewer people than doors I knocked on.
Yes. So yes.
And now I need a new pair of shoes, which I guess that's a campaign expense. But
well, kudos to you. You've worked hard. Let's hope for the best result for you.
Yeah.
And and if you don't win, you're going to run again, right?
If I don't win, that's a lot of meetings I don't have to go to.
Well, that's a good way of looking at it.
So,
Good way of looking at it. But it's always, I mean, you served your community well, and we appreciate all your efforts, and we wish you the best of luck tonight. And hopefully we'll find out soon.
Yeah, and all of us running are here because we want to make Ashland better.
Right.
We want to
Right.
do the best for our community.
Yep.
And so whoever wins, it's going to be good for the community.
It's going to be good for the community. Good. All right, that's Preston Crow. If
Thank
you
you.
voted for him, we're going to bring you the results here very, very soon. Let's go to the next candidate. Oh, looks like we've got Claudia Bennett here. She's coming over. I know Claudia's been out front all day long. Come on over, Claudia. Peter's back inside now too. Claudia Bennett, candidate for the select board. As I told you, my boys, you were their principal, and they said, "Oh, well, are you going to vote for her?" I'm like, more importantly, guys, are you going to vote for Claudia Bennett? So it must be nice to see that kids that you educated can now vote for you. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, John, I have to say that one of the real special things about this race has been seeing so many of the kiddos that, from high school all the way down. Yesterday morning I was standing out at one of the intersections and one of the buses came up and a lot of the kids, it was a red light, got up and went to the window and they put the windows down and they were yelling.
That must have been one of the greater moments of your life.
Yep, and then seeing the kids up here, and I don't always know, I usually recognize their eyes, but I often don't know their names, so I can't be sure.
Of course a principal would know the eyes.
They change a lot,
right.
So and I wasn't principal for all of them. I was assistant for most of them, but so it really is kind of special to see the kids.
So long day today. So talk a little bit about the day. How did it go?
Well, so it went well. I felt good. I think that it's, it really is kind of, it's special to be out there. You put yourself out there, and whenever I go and stand out and wave, I feel kind of strange for the first few minutes. And then, people smile at you and wave, and even if they're not going to vote for you, I think it feels good. And it's nice to be smiling and waving at people, and it's just feel good. And it's certainly a piece of Americana that I think is pretty special.
I saw you standing out yesterday morning, as I mentioned to you, and I was like, wow, good for her. It was probably just after 7 o'clock, and I saw you standing on the corner with your sign. And
yeah, my pop-up signs. I pop up, that's big nowadays, pop-up stuff. So I went around and did the schools yesterday morning, at least 3 of the schools. I did Mendez first, them being the first and then I went over to the middle school, and then I finished up at Warren.
Good
so
for you.
It was nice to, just kind of, you get a lot of feedback.
So you put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money into this campaign, and then we find out tonight that we're probably getting a 10% turnout. With early voting, absentee voting, vote by mail, and election day, we're still only getting 10%. That's got to be concerning.
Yeah, it's hard because I think that people go out and vote when it's the president and that. And lots of times what we do on a local level has greater impact for us on a day-to-day basis. So that's hard. But I totally understand, people are pretty stretched nowadays. And if you have kids, then you are busy beyond belief. And so I understand, but I think
if you were successful tonight, not to interrupt you, as a select board member, can have more impact on anybody's family in here than the president of the United States can have. You can raise taxes, you can raise my water bill, you can cut school funding, you can have much more effect on somebody's lives than Joe Biden or a Donald Trump is ever going to have. And people need to really understand how that works.
Yeah, and I think maybe there's more that we can do to have that conversation with our, community. I think that's certainly a worthy conversation to have. One thing that struck me is that, like all the kids seeing now being more aware just because maybe I'm participating, right? And again, regardless of who you're supporting or voting for, it's a good thing for them to see, right? Because it does engage them a little bit in town politics and thinking about politics and their community. And I felt like that with some of the high schoolers today.
And as an educator, something's got to bite, get the kids' attention. It's got to bite, for me, many years ago, it was Ronald Reagan. I'm like, who's this guy, and it kind of like stoked my interest. And I paid no attention to anything before that. And
right.
Maybe you've changed, people's lives by just running this
campaign.
Yeah,
well, I don't know if it's quite that dramatic.
No,
but
you got,
no, but
this is a big effort. I've done it. I know how much work goes into this, and
right.
I know how much dedication you put into it. So, I'm here tonight to say thank you for doing it. Yeah.
Well, thank you. And we had beautiful weather, and only one polling place. When I ran for school committee years ago, we had two polling places we had to cover, and I can remember being out in the rain one time too. So this was really, my dermatologist won't be really happy about this, but this was a beautiful day.
So we're supposed to be getting results here in about 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh,
You
okay.
must be on pins and needles.
Yes.
If nothing else, you're going to sleep well tonight, right?
Yes, I will sleep
Sleep
well. I
So
will
we're
sleep
going
well.
to bring in a couple other candidates, but good
Okay.
luck, and
All right, thanks,
we'll
John.
circle back with you
right,
before
thank
it's over. Thank you.
Very much.
All right, hey Pam Mims, how are you? How are you, Pam? Come on over. Let's talk a little bit about your day. We're live on Facebook Live and YouTube from the Ashland Gymnasium. It's election day here in Ashland.
Yeah.
You must be exhausted.
I am
Tell me
tired.
about your day.
It's been a great day, a lot of great turnout, and thank you for everyone that turned out today. It's been fabulous. Thank you.
Good. So this is your first time at running for the select board?
Yes, it is. It is.
So tell us a little bit about the experience and what you've learned.
Yeah, the experience has been wonderful. It's good to see a lot of people, a lot of old friends, so it's nice to just really connect with people. And, what I've learned is that it's a long day and it's a busy day.
So what motivated you to say, hey, listen, I want to help my community. I want to run for select board?
Yeah, I think giving back to the town, and I've been born and raised here, so I thought it would be great to come back and give back.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for you.
absolutely.
So, 10% turnout in voting. I've been talking to all the candidates. I mean, I think it's horrible, 10%.
Yeah.
With early voting and mail-in voting.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Election day, we're still only getting 10%.
Yeah.
It must be frustrating because, you put a lot of time, resources into the campaign.
I know it's great to have a great turnout, but everyone is busy, and I know that. And early voting is great, and vote by mail, I think, is great. Gives people an
you do?
opportunity
Okay.
that are not able to
Right.
make it here. There's some people at home, elderly or so, or seniors, so it gives everyone that opportunity. And then election day on a Tuesday, it's hard. I know a lot of people are working, so I think it's fabulous. But I'm okay with it. I
Well,
think
you're very
10%.
positive after a very, very long day.
Yeah, it's okay.
Anything you want to say to the voters or anything like
I
that?
think what I want to say is thank you. It's been a great day. I appreciate everyone, and
It's been fun to watch you campaign. It's been
Thank
fun to
you.
watch you do this, and
thank you very
you're still
much.
smiling at 8:15 at night. So,
Well, yeah.
and hopefully we're going to get results very, very soon.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking over at the town clerk and seeing how are we doing? Oh, we're writing them down as we go. So,
Okay. Thank you.
all right. Good
All right,
luck.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks
All
for
right,
coming over.
thanks. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
So we're going to walk over. Cindy Livingstone, the town clerk, is tabulating some results here. Let's see if we can peek over their shoulder a little bit. We able to move, Paul, a little bit, or is this as far as we can go? I don't think I can reach that far, though. Let me come back and maybe get the other. Can I get the other? Oh. But I don't think I can reach. Can I get the mobile mic? Oh, okay. So Democracy in Action here, live on Facebook and YouTube from the Ashland Gymnasium. We are live and we're getting results. Oh, look at this, hot off the presses. All right, we have the election results for... Yeah, we're coming back. I'm rejoined by Peter Chisholm. We're at the Ashland High School on Facebook Live and YouTube. Come on over, Peter. Come on over, guys. We're going to announce live what the election results are. Can I see? The official results are Bennett 655, Crow 348, Mims 182. The winner is Claudia Bennett for the select board with 655 votes. So there you go, live on TV. So that's great. A lot of pressure on the husband over here now, though, too, right?
Yeah.
655, 348, 182.
He was her political director campaign.
Yeah, I was the campaign manager.
Your all right, campaign
Finance
manager.
director.
So let's talk about it. You put a lot of work into this, and
No, just today.
just today, okay.
I
That's the
I
smart
picked up
way.
a few signs and stuff. And
Okay, well,
I was out there for 4 hours today holding the sign, but brings back the old school committee days.
and a lot of hey, it's hard,
Yep.
family, because now she's going to be at meetings. And, okay, so come on over, and maybe we can get you into the shot here. Select board member, Bennett. You haven't been sworn in yet, but you're the official winner. 655 votes. You got to be excited.
I am excited. I'm really honored, and I thank everybody for coming out and voting today for me and supporting me. And I'm humbled at sometimes thinking about trust and everything that people put in you. And so I'm certainly very honored. And
congratulations. Who are all these beautiful people back here?
so this is my family.
Come on up, family. Come on. Because she's going to be very, very busy for the next couple years, so you might not see her as much. So,
We go to youngest to oldest.
so who's this?
Bennett.
Hi, Bennett.
Emma.
Gloria. So technically it would be Emma. I mean,
Molly.
sorry, Molly.
Oh, okay.
Now it's Gloria.
Vinny.
All right, so you've got the whole family. Yeah, well, we already talked to him. We already talked to him. So, what do you guys think?
I'm excited.
You're excited? Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm happy she won, but she's probably going to be in a lot of meetings now.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to be very, very, very busy, but you guys are going to be proud of Mom.
Yeah, both of us, the first time we're old enough to ever vote for her for something. So.
Oh, really?
Pretty exciting. We're always too young, right? I don't think you were ever old enough.
Yeah, no.
I was telling the story about my kids, went to the schools with her, and this was the time to be the first time that they could vote, and they're like, "Are you going to vote for her?" I'm like, "No, are you going to vote for her?" So, yeah, so that's good.
Cool stuff.
This is great. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Go home, sleep fast. Peter, any comments for Claudia before she goes?
I want to congratulate you. Earlier we had said we had 3 good candidates, and
Yes.
you won. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of the first and second time voters in the community voted for you because they probably had you as a teacher.
Yeah.
But that doesn't hurt in your
Yeah.
experience in the school board.
And I want to just add to that comment that you made that, we had 3 good candidates here, and I think all of us could have gone home and slept well, no matter which one of us had won. So I just want to be clear about that both Pam and Preston, it's been nice to work with them. So.
Oh, that's good. Congratulate you. And then, not just your election, but you have a election for another election in the school committee. Tosti won 747 over Adam, who got 403. So we're still waiting for the results of the Board of Health election.
All right.
That's great.
Yeah.
So Lori was reelected. So this will be her fifth term?
Fourth term.
Fourth term.
Yeah.
So
Fourth
great.
term.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for her. It was nice that Adam would run and
Yeah.
stick it
Oh, yeah,
out.
but I believe
Hopefully
in
runs
contested
again.
elections,
Looks like he'd be a
I
good
like to see
call.
people run. They,
Yeah.
I remember when I ran myself many years ago, and I finished 5th. But, I went out that night, picked up my signs, went home, and I remember, some people checked me, like, how's Peter doing? Is he okay? He said, oh, he doesn't even know he lost you. I just take it all in stride.
Yeah.
I've been involved in so many elections. through
Right,
the years,
absolutely.
You
All
know?
right, well, go take Grandma out
Yeah.
to dinner, all right?
Yeah.
It's been a long day, all
You'll
right?
have a nice night. Congratulations.
Nice
Thank
to
you
you.
very much.
Thanks for coming.
See you later. Take care. Bye now.
Robert, John.
Bye.
Paul,
Have a
thanks,
good
Paul.
night, guys. All right,
So we're just waiting for the Board of
why
Health.
don't you re-announce the school
Yeah.
committee?
Okay, so,
Give the numbers again
yeah.
in case people didn't hear.
sure, if you didn't hear me, Larry Tosti was reelected.
Put up the-
She got 747 votes, and Adam, who ran against her, had 403 votes. And so she's been reelected again. This is her 4th term.
Fourth term,
Yeah,
fourth term.
she'll be heading in too. And we're still waiting for the Board of Health, which we should have
Well, I got to tell
shortly.
you, we had 2 great candidates.
Yeah.
I've known Lori for a long time and have a lot of respect for her, but I was also very excited about Adam's candidacy. I mean, he's a bright guy, and I hope that he throws his hat in the ring again because I think he has a lot to add to the community.
He did a mailing where he pointed out he was the only candidate with children in the Ashland Public Schools, but it didn't come out till last night. And maybe if he'd done it a week earlier, it would have had more of an impact. You've got to get things out to the voters and hopefully get them to read
No,
it.
but sometimes, if you don't win the first time,
Yeah,
it's
try again.
good
Oh,
to
yeah.
try again and do it. I mean, because I think he has a lot to offer the community.
Yeah.
I want to thank both of them for running. I also want to thank, all 3 select board candidates for running.
Yeah.
We're waiting on results for the Board of Health, which I think they are right. Look at this, hot off the presses. Cindy Livingstone has done a great job here today. Let's see what we've got. Okay. So the Board of Health results. Simon, 774. We've got a typo, man. Agu, 534. And Kinsman, 584. So Kinsman and Simon are your winners. So there was a 50-vote difference between the second and third place voters. So once again, Simon 774, Kingsman 584, and Agu 534. So very close election. Very close election. Once again, 3 great candidates in the community. Barbara was a candidate for re-election. Barbara Sum was a candidate for re-election, so she won with 774, and David Kingsman is going to be the new member at 584. So your thoughts on that race?
Oh, I'm glad to see it's, that we had the 3 candidates to make it a contested election, and it was fairly close. And but again, 3 good candidates. We were very lucky this time around.
Yeah.
I mean, as you said in some previous elections, we've had either not enough candidates or unopposed or weaker candidates, but the folks that were elected this time around, I think they're going to do good jobs in the districts.
And as a former member of the Board of Health, I was excited to see these people are health officials and they understand health and they understand. So it's Ashland wins with this election. So that's going to do it for election night coverage. He's Peter Chisholm. I'm John Featherston. We want to thank Barbara Chisholm, Paul Bowden from WACA. We want to thank Cindy Livingstone and her team, the Ashland Public Schools, and all of the poll workers. Elections matter. If you don't vote, you don't get to complain. Only 10% of the people in Ashland get to complain. But let's recap real quick. Claudia Bennett has been elected to the Board of Health. Lori Tosti was re-elected to the school committee. David Rosenblum ran unopposed as assessor. Carolyn Bell and Elizabeth Rabinowitz ran for Board of Trustees. Simon and Kinsman are the winners in the Board of Health. And then we also had an uncontested race for the planning board for Anna Tominski. And that's going to do it. We'll be back again for the next election. You're watching WAC TV on Facebook Live and YouTube. Peter?
Yeah, one thing to say. January 8th at noontime, we're going to be cutting the ribbon at the new public safety building.
Okay.
It's completed. It's open. Both departments are there, running out of there. And it was time coming. I know that. And we had some unexpected delays. But the committee, the Public Safety Building Committee, did a good job. And it's ready to go now. And hopefully it'll work out well for the community.
I remember sitting in a meeting in 2007 with Howie Fafford saying, are you going to sell me this building or not? And now we're going to, so that's going to be in 2024 that we're going to do the ribbon cutting. So,
23. We're cutting June 8th.
Oh, June 8th. I thought you said January.
Oh, I'm sorry, June 8th. Yeah,
June 8th. Okay, June 8th. Okay.
Yeah, for 4 weeks. Yeah.
All right, I'll be there. We'll be there. Wacko will be there. So
I'm sure they will be.
We'll be there. All right, everybody have a good night. You've been watching election coverage on WACA TV.